Hey guys, it's Mathel here once again, and this character died. But before you see that, you will see just a little bit more of the big bloof action. That was Tectonic Slam, Bloofton, Tectonic Thickton, something like that. Did end up having about, 6k life or so off of the back of a Tabula still, with a bit more of a slam-based playstyle, because I did have to spec into a bit of Warcry sort of nonsense, and then use both enduring, well, not both, all three of enduring, seismic, and intimidating cry to have a bit of a rotation, though for the most part for mapping I was basically just sticking to refreshing seismic cry. That gives you a bunch more area. I was using Fist of War, and you can see that the resulting slams are rather large indeed. We do just about full screen, sometimes 2 screens worth of tectonic chaining, with plenty of endurance charges as well, so the fissure chances are pretty damn high. And overall, for what it was worth and for what the character set out to do, it was pretty damn successful. There wasn't really anything super involved in it. I was using the Panquatzalitzi mace, and that thing's worthless in a normal league. The Tabula is the 6 link for the character, and you can make him pretty beefy and tanky otherwise. And his clear was really quite nice. It is a very slow hitting playstyle, but you are having a lot of impact with every single hit. The single target for the bosses wasn't really anything too special, especially up to the point where we're doing like tier 10s and stuff, plus. And at that stage, it was either you one-shot something with your little setup, or it felt just a little bad. There wasn't too many issues in the maps and the content I was running, but if you were going to go much further, like this Mastermind here, which was going fine by the way, this is a level 79 Mastermind, I was getting through it, but this is what inevitably killed me, and I wasn't expecting to die here, didn't think I would, didn't think I had a chance of dying to this boss, but there it is, with full life, endurance charges. Yeah, got clipped by that, and the end of that character's campaign. Either way, we moved on, because Flashback I think is still pretty damn fun to play on, and there's still a chance for some demigod action, if you got nothing better to do, I suppose. And this time around I wanted to make, well, I'm still on SSF with hardcore, so I have to look at the stuff available to me and try and make a character based off of that. Can't be too meta, of course, and this time it is a Debion's Dirge, which is an axe just with a lot of flat cold damage, and then Bladestorm or Cyclone. Bladestorm for leveling felt quite a bit nicer, because Cyclone didn't quite have the damage and the area, though at this point of the character, now that he's completed Uber Lab, I'm pretty sure that I should be able to pull off some pretty good Cyclone action as well. But you can see that through leveling with a Debion's and a Tabula, DPS is pretty filthy, especially when most of my nodes were being pumped into life. So by the time I finished Guitar, I had like 4,000 life still off of a Tabula. Though right now I did 5 link my Debion's, and I am running a life chest, so I should be at about 5k life. In the low 70s, and I do have the full leech ascendancy from Slayer, so the idea is that we can be a little bit thicker with the stun immunity, the bleed immunity, and the overleech. That gives you quite a lot of sustain through a lot of random little hits. Hasn't really been an issue so far. I haven't really taken any damage. It's just for the most part blade storming around, one-shotting things. It is kind of just similar to a sweep, but it lingers quite a bit more, and I think has overall a higher damage effectiveness as a skill. That said, can do Cyclone if you'd rather, can play with a Terminus Est, that's what I leveled with, and then you can just do a full cold conversion, you can do a full impale version of the build, you don't have to necessarily play Slayer. Just in general, Bladestorm's pretty damn nice. If you've seen a couple of my previous builds, it is probably one of my favorite melee skills out there for pure effectiveness. And this version should just hopefully clear maps nicely and have some decent single target while still maintaining pretty garbage gear the best you can do with a Debion's and trying to be crit and a Slayer. And I think it should do what it's set out to do, for now anyway. But you can obviously make it quite a bit more softcore friendly with some Abyssus action and quite a bit more gear overall. Yeah, that's about it. Safely this guy. I'll just show you real quick what his setup is looking like and what it took us to get this far. So the character is still quite a work in progress. I only just finished campaign and started doing maps. I put the cry in Warcry. Pretty sad about dying the way I did on the previous character, and it is kind of a Warcry axe or slightly based thing because we do have to keep a Warcry up pretty frequently. Level 76 Slayer. Slayer is still a pretty damn good ascendancy for the most part if you're utilizing it for all of its benefits. So currently with a 5 base crit weapon, this is just straight up 50% higher crit because it gets you to 7.5 base instead. Nearby enemies have less crit multi, and of course a little bit more crit multi for you. This ascendancy here is really big for accuracy and then also a lot of area and some extra damage, quite a bit of extra damage too. And then we are going the overleech nodes, which are quite a bit of extra safety and some damage reduction. So overall, pretty thick use of the ascendancy, whereas if you just go pure damage, then these nodes here give you, you know, another fucking 50% more or some shit. It's some pretty good stuff for an ascendancy. Though, as with most of these melee things, if you can do a Slayer, you can do something like a Gladiator, a Champion, a Berserker. They're all kind of intertwined, and you just kind of pick what you like the most about it. I've also got a dual notable that just makes use of our Leech Ascendancy a little bit more, so that kind of steered me in that direction as well. But we are based around the Debion's Dirge Axe, so we're just stacking flat cold here. In this case anyway at the moment, and then my supports for that: Perma Fortify, Pulverize for lots of extra area, Bladestorm, Multi-Strike, and Ellie damage with attacks. Supposedly Multi-Strike, even on the first swing, if you just hit it like that, ups the tick rate of your Bladestorm by quite a lot. But then if you, of course, for single target, stand there and get all the way through to the final attack, it also boosts that extra more damage. But I think supposedly it does make it tick faster, and just getting out your first hit is a lot faster when you have multi-strike attached, because without it, your initial swing is going to be quite a bit slower, and it is just a bit worse for the playstyle. My 6th link at the time was close combat as well, and that was during the tabular phase of the build. And then I used the Terminus Est for a very long time, from 50 to 66, and that thing was just trucking. This was a little better at the time, but you can do a full conversion version with a budget item like a Terminus Est, or you can do just Impale with it as well, and a Bladestorm will carry you quite far. You of course have Cyclone as well, just in case we want to swap to that. It's pretty effective at the moment, so you know, keep an eye out for that too. Rest of the gear, really nothing to look at. You got Osc arms for just some assassin mark action. Otherwise, res, life, res, life, res, 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 life. Pretty basic SSF HC crap. I'm using a two-handed cluster jewel, and in this case we have just this little crit accuracy sort of thing. Feed the Fury for Leech, and then Martial Prowess, bit of extra damage, using 2 different crit jewels just to up my crit a bit, with a quick getaway and pressure points, and then pressure points and precise retaliation, and then a Feast of Flesh, though it's not particularly necessary in this character. You can definitely stack a lot of life gain on hit for Bladestorm to become pretty, you know, Leech effective. Otherwise, passive tree does pick up some fortify nodes, gets the crit nodes here, the two-hand crit nodes, the axe crit nodes, some of the cold damage. I'm now currently branching over to get this life up here. We anointed the Heartseeker since crit multi is pretty hard to come by at the moment. I did originally plan to go here, not sure I can justify it with this cluster jewel. And then a lot of life on the tree, something like 200% total, as you know, SSF HC. Currently running Hatred and Herald of Ice, as well as a Sand stance for Blood and Sand. That's more area. And it's just the Celestial MTX, if you're wondering, that bladestorm does make it rather pretty and rather worth using. So if you've never looked into it, very effective skill, and also has a hugely cool looking MTX. And that is of course the Harvest Supporter Pack, if you're wondering what that is. That's all I'll say for the character for now. It's been pretty fun. I am thoroughly enjoying it, and hopefully I won't have a rip clip for you anytime soon. Thank you very much for watching, and see you next time.